Are we on? I guess we're on. Hi there, and welcome to Kids in the Kitchen, brought to you by the South Texas Literacy Coalition. We're excited that you're here. And today we've got two recipes. As you remember from last week, Laura McDermott, our board member who gets on the show with me, had a previous engagement. And so she's not going to be able to be with us. So I'm going to do two recipes today for you. And one of the recipes is Ariel's pasta shell salad. And it's from a pasta shell recipe from the Disney Princess Cookbook, okay? And like I said last week, unfortunately, we don't have this in our inventory. We're looking for it, but it's not too expensive, about $16. Maybe you can get it on Amazon a little bit cheaper, or perhaps on eBay as well. And so it's got some great recipes that you can prepare for the whole family. And I will tell you about this recipe, Ariel's pasta salad recipe. It makes a whole bunch. It's like a good family recipe when grandma and grandpa come over and you've got all this stuff. And let's see, Rosario is on. We're glad to see you. And so I made half of the recipe. This is what it looks like, okay? Doesn't that look delicious? And we're gonna put it together. It's a cold salad, okay? So you don't have to worry. You can fix it ahead of time, put it in the refrigerator. When the barbecue's done outside, or when you finish your roast inside in the oven or whatever, take it out, and it makes a very delicious, easy salad that's very nutritious as well, and not very expensive. And like I said, this is half of the recipe that I made, and so I'm going to do the other half. So we're going to start off with I prepared the pasta, and I'm using the small shells, okay, the little bitty shells. And since has to do with Ariel and the sea and whatever, that's why it's shells. So in a bowl, we take, and I've already cooked this. Now this took about 7 minutes on top of the stove. Could have done it in the microwave, but it was a lot, and I didn't have a bowl big enough that was microwavable. So we're gonna take, this is my colander. And when I took it, when it was done and I took it out of the saucepan that I was cooking it in, I put it in here and I ran cold water, okay? So that it would cool quickly and the pasta would not stick. You can also add like a tablespoon of olive oil if you like, and that makes it good. So you see how it's filling up this bowl? And this is a pretty big bowl, about an 8-serving bowl. So this is our colander. See, it's got holes. A colander has holes in the bottom so that things can rinse through, and you can put clean beans in this, and you can drain your pasta and all of that. Okay, so we have our pasta here. The next thing that it asks us to do is to add some red pepper, a half a cup. This is a fourth of a cup because again, I'm doing half. I didn't have red, so I'm going to use green. And that's okay. Got to use what you have at home. And particularly if you've had it there for a while, you want to use it up. Next thing we're going to add is carrots. And this is shredded carrots. Gives it a very nice color. And what I like to do after I add a couple of ingredients is begin to kind of mix it. Remember last time I told you that you don't mix this at all. Turn your, whoops, see, it all went out. Turn your bowl as you go and mix from the outside in, okay? The next thing that we're going to add is cherry tomatoes. These are cut in half. So I took one tomato and cut it in half, okay? So we're gonna add that. Again, it's looking very, very nice. Then we're going to add our Parmesan cheese. And this is not the shaker kind. You can buy the block of Parmesan cheese and grate it, or you can buy the Parmesan cheese already grated. And there's nothing like fresh Parmesan cheese. And went out to my garden and I got some chives. Okay, remember these are one of the easiest herbs to grow. Chives. You can grow it in a pot. So You see how this is beginning to look really, really good? And if you mix it as you go, again, from the outside in, to get it all mixed, this is a great salad. And you could even take a few extra tomatoes and put it on top to decorate. Then the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to use Italian dressing. And I have just fallen in love with the Olive Garden Italian dressing. Love to go there. Haven't been there in a while. So it asks for a cup of this. And of course, since we're doing half a recipe, I'm going to do half a cup. It's very, very tasty. Very, very well seasoned. Get all of it out of there. And we're going to mix again from the outside in, Let's see who else is on. Juan Ovalle. Hi, Juan. And who else? Maria Elena Ovalle and Melba. Hi, Prima. And let's see who else. It's Ramirez and Lorisa. Hi, Lorisa. And so you mix this up. This is a great recipe also to take for lunch. You can refrigerate it. If it lasts at your household, you can keep it in the refrigerator for about 3 days. And of course, every time that if you don't use it all, next time you serve it, be sure and mix it so that you're able to get all the dressing in there. That's the neat part. And again, I'm using Olive Garden, shout out their Italian dressing. And you can pick it up there at the restaurant, or H-E-B, are one of our partners, and shout out to H-E-B for all they do for us, has it as well. Or if you have a favorite, if you like Kraft or if you like, some others, that's fine. I just like the flavor of that because of the salad. I generally go and I have the soup and salad. And so let me get the rest of these chives. And those of you who know me know that I'm in my element when I'm in the kitchen. So I love to do this. I'm going to pull out some of those little tomatoes and put them on top so that they can be seen and they can decorate the dish. And there is your Ariel's pasta salad, shell pasta salad. And these two, again, make one recipe. So it's a lot, and it's very, very cost effective. I think I paid $1 for the pasta shells and maybe $2 for the tomatoes because I had run out of tomatoes. I used all the ones that I have grown outside. And the rest of the stuff I had the chives, I had the bell pepper here. Like I said, I had green and not red, but that's okay. And so the only thing I purchased was the salad dressing, but there is our Ariel's pasta salad. So, yay, we're ready to have lunch. So we're going to put these over here. I want you to try this because it makes a good, like I said, sometimes you think about making potato salad for your next barbecue or whatever, and you think, oh man, by the time I cook the potatoes and whatever, and you want to do your own rather than buy it already made, and I get that. And so it's just an easy recipe, different one to try. Okay, so this recipe is called, the next recipe is called Groovy Granola. Now, some of you who are not as old as I am, you probably don't even know what the word groovy means, okay? Groovy was, I grew up in the 60s, okay? And groovy was really, hip, really in, really, what do they call it now? Bad, not lame, but, really bad. And so, bad meaning good. And so it's called Groovy Granola because it's easy to make and it's done on top of the stove. Generally, many of the granolas you have to mix up, you put it in the oven. And so if you don't want to do that, this is what you need to do. And this is our finished product, okay? Just like this. Your own granola. I had a nice little jar there. Makes a great gift for a neighbor or somebody who's shut in these days. And you can serve it as a cereal. You can serve it as a snack or whatever. So we're going to get started. And I'm using just regular 3-minute oats, okay? Our ingredients are the oats, a little bit of cooking oil, some chopped walnuts and almonds, and I even put pecans in mine, and a little bit of kosher salt. And then I'm using the only sugar in here is a home-style syrup, which is a maple syrup, and that's about it. And so it's an easy thing to do. We're going to do it here on top of the stove, okay? And I'm going to use a little butter. You can use oil if you like, but it's a quick recipe, and you'll like it. It's homemade. Now, when that's cooking, I'm going to tell you a story about granola and how it came about. I'm going to use a spatula, remember the spatula, to allow the butter to melt and mix everything in here. And you can tailor it to what you want in it, okay? This one has the ingredients I already said, and you cook the first few ingredients. You don't add the dried fruit and the coconut until the very end, until it's cooled, okay? And while I'm saying that, I need to pull out, let's see, if it's in my, where I'll put it in. Pull out I don't know what happened to my baking pan. It was here, so I'm going to use a plate, okay? Does this happen at your house? You lose stuff, okay? I do that. Okay, so our butter is melting in the pan. And the first thing that we're going to add, I'm going to let that melt a little bit more because I want to make sure. You can use oil, you can use olive oil, you can use avocado oil, coconut oil, you can use regular canola, safflower, regular cooking oil. But I'm going to use butter. And recipes are not copyrighted because you're doing what I'm doing. You change it up. I don't have this, I'm going to add that, and whatever. Cookbooks are copyrighted, but individual recipes are not because of that, because we change them all the time. So it's hard to say, well, I substituted this or I substituted that. And so, we're going to get this nice and hot. And we have, I did a half a recipe, which was this. And by the way, you can serve it in little baggies like this. You can take them on a picnic. You can take them, if you're going to go out hiking or whatever, you can put them in a lunch box in a little tiny container. Just like that. A little snack bag, whatever. And it just makes a great snack. Now, this is just about done. So the first thing it says, add the oats, which it asked for 2 cups. This is 1 cup. And it also says to add the walnuts. Here's the walnuts. The almonds, and the almonds give a good color contrast. And you know what? I like pecans, so I'm going to add pecans. And so we mix that up a little bit. Like I told you, I like to kind of mix as I go. And again, we're cooking this on top of the stove. And then we're also going to add a pinch of salt. What is a pinch? You just pinch. Now, why do we put salt in sweet stuff? Because it makes the sweet really come out, and it's very tasty. And then we're going to use the maple syrup, and it asks for 3 tablespoons, so I'm going to use 1.5 tablespoons of maple syrup. You can also use pancake syrup if you don't have this maple syrup. So a tablespoon. You hear that? And this is the only sugar that it has, except for the dried fruit that we're going to add later. Okay? Again, from the outside in your skillet. That way you don't get stuff all over the place. You get a little bit, like me, but not a whole lot. Okay? And that's going to start. And what we want to do is we want to toast the oatmeal, okay, and the nuts and all of that. And the sugar just gives it a little bit of, sweetness. Now, talk about where does the word granola come from? Well, in reading about granola, I found out that it was developed in the 1800s by a man named Dr. John Caleb Jackson. And he took graham flour and he toasted it in the oven. And he served it like a cereal. And then he tried different things, adding different things to it. Well, then came Mr. Kellogg from the Kellogg Cereal Company, and he added cornmeal, and he added wheat flour and the graham flour. And so Mr. Jackson got upset and sued him, and Mr. Kellogg paid up. This was in the 1800s, okay? And Mr. Jackson used to call it granula with a U because it was coming from that grain, okay, that graham grain. And so to make everything legal and whatever, Mr. Kellogg named it granola. And that's where the term granola came from. In Sweden and in Europe, many of the places fix what they call muesli, okay? And it's very, very laden with, very much like granola, very laden with a lot of fruit, more so, and it's very tasty as well, but it's very similar to granola. So this is toasting up nicely. I don't know if you can see it real well. Let me hold it up. It's getting a little bit darker. You see that? So we're going to let it continue to do that. And after that, Mr. Kellogg came up with a lot of different recipes for this. Now, one of the reasons that I decided to try this recipe with you, and I've done it before, we've done it in several different places. We had a family literacy festival at the Alamo Community Center one time, and we served this. We were doing some health literacy as well. And some granolas ask for brown sugar and corn syrup and all kinds of stuff. This one is just, that little bit. If you use the whole recipe, it's 3 tablespoons of maple syrup or pancake syrup. That's it. And the bad rap that granola has gotten is that there's a lot of granolas out there. Please read the label, okay? The label on the side. Now, when I went to the store, I saw some granola there, and it was for this amount, which was like a box like this, $4.25, okay? And so that's a lot, because it goes quick. But if you have a cholesterol problem, then you should be eating oatmeal, and at least 2 to 3 times a week, if not more. And this is already browning up very, very nicely. And so you've got oats that are quick to cook. I'm going to turn the heat down. And you've got most of the ingredients. Nuts are expensive. And by the way, everything is getting expensive out there now because of the pandemic. And, again, it looks like we're going back to where we were in late March, early April. So, again, I say to you, masks are not optional. Now, here in Edinburgh in particular, making all of the, and in Hidalgo County, making all of the businesses make sure that everybody that walks into their store is wearing a mask. Very important. Washing your hands 1,000,000 times a day. Wash them 20 seconds, the birthday song twice. Dry them real good. And then social distancing, And there's about 20 states that are hurting right now because people went out there, and when they opened up, I guess the mentality was, I'm so bored being at home. We're back to normal. Well, we're not back to normal, okay? So I'm going to put this granola on a plate. A cookie sheet works better, and I'm not sure what happened to my cookie sheet. It's probably over there on the table somewhere, and I'm not going to go over there and use it now. Everything, look, the pan is clean. Of course, I'm going to wash it, but, it's clean. So I'll put it right there, see if it's last. Okay. So we're going to allow this to just cool off a little bit. And it's not too warm now. It's getting cool because of the weather in here. And I've selected, these are called baking cranberries. I'm not really sure what the difference in regular dried cranberries and baking cranberries. Maybe just the price. I have some raisins, yellow raisins. We're also going to use a little bit of cinnamon. I've got some cherries. And I've got some mangoes, okay? And the mango, I'm going to cut a little bit because it's in strips, okay? And we want everything, while this is cooling, we want everything to be in smaller pieces. Maybe the mango will be one of the bigger pieces, but, just take it and cut it. This is not good for my shoulder. I hurt my shoulder a couple of weeks ago, and not a good thing. But it's okay. After I get to tasting this granola, it'll be good. So we're going to do, it asks for 1/4 of a cup of a variety of fruits, okay? So make them bite size, okay? So we've got the mango that's bite size. Now I'm going to take a big bowl like this, and I'm going to pour the granola in here. It asks for 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and you know me, love cinnamon, so I'm not even going to half it. I'm just going to do the whole thing with cinnamon. It's very, very tasty, okay? And again, we're going to mix that up. I don't like to put it in the skillet because we tend to lose the cinnamon sometimes, okay? So you're mixing that up. We're going to add our fruit. We're going to add some of these raisins. These are the yellow ones. We're going to add some cherries. Notice how carefully I'm measuring. We're going to add some cranberries. Oh, we got a bunch of people on. I can't see my monitor too well, Jonathan, so you have to say hello to all those people. So we've got cherries, we have cranberries, we have mango, we have raisins, okay? And so we're going to mix all this up together. And we're also going to add, you can add coconut or coconut flakes. You can also add banana chips if you have that. Take a look at that. Doesn't that look good? You can store this. I read a funny story about granola. It was associated with the hippies that were when we were growing up in the 60s because it has a very long shelf life. Shelf life means how long is it going to last? So it's going to last a while if you don't eat it. But if you eat it, you could eat this in one bite. But this particular granola recipe, again, if you're going to buy it, it's okay, but check the fat content and the sugar content, okay? And that's our granola recipe. Very, very easy to make. Again, you can store it in a canister, just like this. You can take it with you in little baggies, or you could make it part of your lunch or snack, all during the day. And that's our granola recipe, okay? Like that. I think it's awesome. And I don't have another container to put it in right this minute, but I wanted you to see how it all mixes in. And again, you can vary the amount of coconut you put in there. I keep my coconut under glass because I like to keep it. If I put it in the refrigerator, I have to let it kind of get to room temperature. I'm gonna add a little bit more. This is one of those that, you don't have to be too precise. And if you like me, I like pecans as well as almonds and walnuts. Again, you can take half a cup of granola and serve it as a cereal with milk in the morning, or just eat it, just like it is for a healthy snack. So, did we have any questions, Jonathan? Help me out. I can't see all the. Oh, Rosario says, thank you, Dr. Ida. You're very, very welcome. This is something that you will enjoy making over and over and over again. You don't have to turn your oven on, okay? And that's a big plus. But remember, let it go a little bit before you add your fruit, because it'll melt your fruit. Now, one more tip. After it's completely cooled, if you want to add M&M candies or chocolate chips, again, you're making it a little sweeter, and you got to watch that. But you could do that if you wanted to take part of it, and you're going on a trip where you're going to, do a day trip kind of a thing, and you want something with energy, you could do that as well. So you could put prunes, you could put all kinds of dried fruit in here, and it'll be great. So, any questions from anybody? Jonathan, what do we see? Let's see. Want to try it? Okay. It's super easy to do. So, I see my friend Gloria Champion Garcia there. Hi, Gloria. Glad you're on. So again, while you're home, come in from out working in the garden or going someplace or whatever, want to have a little bit of snack before you have dinner or lunch, this is your thing. And it's much healthier than some of the ones that you buy because it doesn't have as much sugar and it doesn't have as much fat. So there we are. Hope that you enjoy our granola recipe and our Ariel's pasta shell salad. Two very, very easy summer recipes for you to make. Easy, top of the stove for the granola. And this is all, you can prepare it ahead of time and serve it to your family. And again, it makes that much and this much in the recipe. So it makes a lot. Makes a good family dish that you can serve a lot of people. So have a great weekend. Enjoy yourself. Be safe. Remember the recommendations that we have for the virus. Wear a mask wherever you go. Wash your hands a gazillion times a day. Use sanitizer. I carry a little container of alcohol wipes in my car so I can wipe down everything. And just be careful, with that. And social distancing is an important thing. So hope you enjoy it. Try it. Look at what you have in your pantry and put these recipes together. And remember, the Ariel's pasta salad came from the Disney Princess Cookbook. So all of you princess and princesses can do this. Very, very simple to do. We'll be doing some more later on in the month from the cookbook. Okay? Have a great weekend. We'll see you next time.